Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we've actually had a pretty kind of chill past few days when it comes to news, especially when it comes to restocks, it comes to all the various stuff. Some people don't really mind all these nice little bonus videos that have kind of been thrown on out. I think in the near future, I kind of want to just go and once again kind of combine a lot of these videos maybe into one kind of mega video and be a little bit maybe quicker on some of the stuff, unless there's like some really big news going on. So if you guys don't mind, I'm kind of just kind of test out the water, especially because we basically had no really good restocks this past like week or so. So don't worry, the second we actually have any good news on that, I'll 100% let you guys know ASAP. But until then, we actually have some very intriguing news when it comes to some PlayStation news. Some more insiders going and teasing out even more information coming out when it comes to all these really big acquisitions and rumors and everything else. Some really good, both good and bad Xbox Game Pass news, and overall a little bit more even Battlefield 2042 that keeps on making its way back in the news as well. So it's a little various stuff, little late night videos also, if you guys don't mind. As well, if any of you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. Amazon links down below for the PS5 disc digital console controller. We also do have the Samsung SSDs down below. Highly recommend, on sale, 100% recommend it. Send you as well the Samsung $50 gift card down below. Twitter and Twitch if you guys want to hang out and chill and sign up for that Webull too as well. Link down below. And of course, like I said, leave a comment down below. I wouldn't mind maybe myself trying to go and combine up just a few more of these videos all until maybe like one or two really good videos throughout the day. Probably maybe whatever, like maybe after Horizon's all done, maybe I'll try to tone down the most uploads and kind of have some slightly better videos. I've been saying that for a little while, but I haven't had a day off literally for about a year and a half as of now. So at some point we'll get some good stuff going on in. So we'll talk about a bunch of random stuff, maybe an update video in the near future. But first and foremost, guys, we actually have some very intriguing news in regards to Dying Light, which has actually been kind of making its rounds over here. First initial reviews, some good, some bad. I've been kind of hearing very mixed things. Same thing too as well with the very first Dying Light, which it was kind of buggy and had a lot of issues at the start, and same with story and everything else. So basically when it comes to all this stuff, we'll kind of have to go and see how the game kind of goes itself, and I'll give you guys maybe a review or play some Twitch stuff for it. But the one big thing to note is that we actually kind of see once again the true power of the PlayStation 5. If you guys want to go compare up the actual file size itself, comparing the Dying Light 2 on the PS4 versus PS5 versions, as you guys can maybe go and see over here, is you guys can see on how well utilized the PS5 actually is. So we have the PS5 version over here, which has a nice little download, which is actually only at 25 gigs total, or at least 21 for the initial first playthrough, which, I mean, for this day and age, I've seen some games that are like 150 gigabytes. They're absolutely crazy in all opinion. But when it comes to also the PS4 version, we also have the same exact kind of version, just little, PS4 version itself, 51 gigabytes if you guys are looking through the actual game, which you have to give that so much credit towards the PlayStation 5 and also the developers for it as well, because it just goes to show how efficient everything is. It's a very good process that the PlayStation 5 can kind of hold out so many file sizes, mainly just because Jesus, like some of these games nowadays are 100 plus gigs, and I'll be honest, I do keep on mentioning those SSDs down below if you guys are going to check them out. They are on sale, but like it is almost a requirement, I feel like, this day and age for next gen games to actually be able to go and use these like little SSDs, because that's a huge difference, especially for a PS4, which, as you guys know, just doesn't have as much optimization, as much storage space, and it's just not the best vibe. So it's actually kind of cool to go and see on how well utilized the PS5 is, but on top of that too, kind of crazy to see that we still are getting all these AAA games on the PS4, let alone Horizon coming out in a few weeks and God of War later on throughout this year, and all the other various mid-tier games tied on in. So I just always want to give a nice little big clapping hand to the PS5 and the developers on it, because you got to go give credit where credit's due. Some other kind of cool stuff to go and see is also Jeff Knightley, who I actually mentioned up in passing before, but earlier on today, have heard from multiple people, as you might suspect, there are still a few other big video game deals in the final stages of negotiations. It's going to be an interesting year. So I more so want to kind of note and say like the same on the final stages. Mainly because, as you guys have seen, we've seen like, the Activision, which actually just made a video on that earlier on today if you guys want to check that out, more on the legality side of how these actually might be in big trouble and how they might actually get blocked. But when it comes to Bungie, that's a huge multi-billion-dollar deal. That is huge. That is huge. Part two of that is also on the Microsoft acquisition, and it's kind of crazy to go and see on what might even be bigger. We keep on having still the rumors of like a Capcom, Ubisoft, EA, Konami, and a lot of other various big retailers that also, kind of basically have that good stuff. Even like Sega too as well. It's kind of thrown amongst the mist. So I'm still kind of curious. Like I think acquisition talk's been the really big thing all throughout this year in general, and I think a lot of folks would agree. I think a lot of people are trying their best just to go and make as much money, and then buy as much stuff to keep on growing their brand, whether it comes from Sony or Xbox. So it's very, very intriguing, especially from someone say like Jeff, who is a big industry figurehead. As you guys know, he does all the Game Awards shows, he probably has NDAs, he probably knows even probably some of these businesses are even just in their first place because maybe there's games in the future that want to work or promote or have tweets or showcase stuff on his Game of the Year awards or Summer Games Fest. So when we're seeing even more big figureheads in the gaming industry, kind of basically anticipating and leaking up all this stuff, it kind of goes to show that we're going to have probably throughout these next few months a lot of really, really big acquisitions, and it makes me happy. I love it. Makes me happy. I love seeing all this stuff. I love seeing all this news because it hopefully means we'll even more have better games in the near future. Next is we're actually having a little bit of sad news over here for the Xbox Game Pass. Where actually right now the Xbox Game Pass actually is losing some of its good and best games, although we also have some also good news right after where they actually are gaining some new games. So basically Xbox Game Pass actually is losing a few little ones as of February 15th. This is all probably in regards to, licensing rights. Sometimes they'll have it for like 1 or 2 years, and then kind of go from there. But Control, which was actually kind of pretty heavily promoted, especially on the PS4s, even on Game Pass, not Game Pass, the PS Plus as well. Code Vein, very cool Souls-like game, which actually came out a few years ago, all around good game. Final Fantasy, funny enough, also losing it from their licensings mixed on in. The Medium, which is also even crazier seeing, because that was actually one of the, only launch titles we had for the Xbox Series X when it first came out. Project Winter, very cool, I believe, social game too as well, so it's kind of sad to see that leaving, and the Falconeer 2 as well. So a lot of these games actually took a while to kind of get rid of, but at the same time, it's kind of sad, but due to licensing and other various licensing rights, it would make sense that at some point, we do have to lose them. But at least on the bright side, we actually do have some on the way, which has Contrast, as of the 3rd, Dreamscaper on the 3rd, Telling Lies on the 3rd, Besiege, which is actually kind of a cool game too as well, Crossfire, which I think a lot of folks are excited for. It's kind of like, I'm not sure if the multiplayer or single player only, but we've actually been seeing a lot of folks kind of getting that early hype for it. Edge of Eternity, kind of cool game. I think I did a spawns with them a while back up on Twitch. Skull, Hero Slayer, The Last Kids on Earth 2 as well, and a few other ones too, such as Ark, which I'm sure a lot of folks might be hyped up for. Very cool multiplayer game, and Infernax 2 as well. So nothing super crazy big, nothing like, the biggest game out there, like a brand new Halo, brand new Gears of War coming out to Game Pass, but at least we are seeing some very cool stuff mixed on in. Now as well, last but not least, as we're kind of in this FPS grind, as we've talked about a lot about Bungie, which I still think is kind of good, especially how the fact that Bungie is keeping it open for everyone, and the fact that you can still play it up on Xbox and also PC, which is always very thumbs up to me. Good stuff on Sony. We also don't forget, also have the Sony event going on as of tomorrow too as well. I'm not sure if I'll be co-streaming it, but I'll probably tweet about it or talk about it. I think it's more so of a, basically a Horizon, I keep saying Horizon, Forza, basically kind of big focus. I'm not sure if they'll have other stuff, but don't forget that it is also scheduled, I believe, for tomorrow around 4 p.m. So in case you guys are curious, I'll probably tweet about it, so follow up the Twitter as well. But we're also seeing even more kind of sad news in regards to Battlefield, where this game just doesn't go and get a break. Battlefield 2042 did not meet expectations, but will do really well over the course of time. Because as you guys know, they actually are planning and prepping on doing other various stuff, such as the Game Pass and Battle Pass for the game itself, and also a lot of the big rumors nowadays for finally going free to play, which I think is kind of maybe nice to kind of improve up the actual player base itself. I'm kind of in the boat where I just kind of want them to fine tune a lot of glitches and bugs. That'd be kind of nice, and honestly, I kind of more appreciate that, and maybe also kind of bring back some more of the specialists and other various things. So kind of cool to go and see. I kind of want to hear your thoughts and comments on that down below. And as well, hopefully we have some more brand new news and also brand new restock news as well, mainly because we haven't really seen almost anything confirmed or any kind of big news when it comes to restocks in general. Of course, we are still watching. I will give you guys more updates for it. I just can't really make a random video if there's nothing kind of going on. I can't just lie to you guys. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the side videos too. We actually said have some good gaming news as well. Like I said, maybe I'll try to go and cut down and put maybe like 1 or 3 kind of good ones throughout the day if good news kind of comes on out. Maybe have a good focal point with a lot of these kind of various stories I'll put together. So you guys can give me your thoughts and comments down below. As well, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. As well, for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway, we have the Samsung SSDs down below and the phones too as well. Twitter and Twitch streams on top of that. We also do have the Webull, as I keep on mentioning. We also have the Coinbase and the Amazon links and all that good stuff, Twitter and Twitch stream. And I appreciate you guys so much for watching. Give me your thoughts on this one, and hopefully tomorrow we'll have slightly better news. Love you guys.